my neighbours, good citizens all, I thank you for coming and heeding the call. Let's rally the people and bring them all near. Sing out our songs for the whole world to hear. This is the cradle of all that we are. This is the heart of the storm. This is the ground where the future was born. This here is Anvil and this is our home. Each song that we sing and each story we tell, each hero we name and each life that we sell, each breath and each beat of your heart is a beat of the drum. Give me drink in my cup and friends who will share it, song on my lips and ears that'll hear it, fire in my eyes to light all the good people I see. I tell you, my friends, there's nowhere that I'd rather be. Before 10 in the morning, we're barely alive. We're like ghosts, we're like spirits, and then coffee arrives. Then heroes awaken and stand by your side. Now gather your courage and sing out your pride. For the storm will not break us, although it may try. The sun may be down and may bake the world dry, but we stand by our neighbours and raise them up tall. Gather your voices and scream out the call. For you are my empire and you are my hall. For you I would fight and for you I would fall. For you are the beat of my heart and the heart of my song. Give me drink in my cup and friends who will share it, song on my lips and ears that'll hear it, fire in my eyes to light all the good people I see. I tell you, my friends, there's nowhere that I'd rather be. So fill up your tankards and fill up your lungs. Leave no words unspoken and no song unsung. Make noise for your heroes, your kith and your kin. Sing out their names and the pride that they bring. Together we stand and divided we fall. And the future we write will be shaped by us all. For we are the singers and we are the song of a story that's greater than more. Sing along. Give me drink in my cup and friends who will share it, song on my lips and ears that'll hear it, fire in my eyes to light all the good people I see. I tell you, my friends, there's no...
Hello, everyone. I hope you can hear me. It looks like you can hear me. My audio thing's bouncing up and down. They look good for Chris as well. So, this is good. This is a good start. Nothing's broken. Yet. So, let's go back quick. So, Rhea Pride Stalker, thank you for subbing. That's amazing. And you're a legend for doing it. Thank you, Corvus. 13 months. 13 months. That's almost criminal. It is criminal. And John, 12 months, and Ryan, or Choco Moco Latte, for 10 months. You are all crazy. Hi, Baz. Hi, everybody. So, before we get started, I hope everyone can hear okay. Oh my god, I'm so crap with names. Mark. I think I was calling you Mike before. Or have I got it completely the wrong way around again? I will remember one day. What was I saying? Mike. Mikhail. I don't know. Mark, thank you, Mark. I will remember. I promise you, I will remember. So this is a little bit of an update on something. So remember we were talking about helping someone out who's really struggling, going through a really wank time at the moment. So basically a little bit of an update on that. We have a pair of trousers, a tunic. They're somewhere. They're somewhere. We have got... I'm going to show these bits off because they're absolutely incredible. Let's remove this. We have been given... So I've been sent some stuff through. So we have a tankard strap. We have a tankard. I want this tankard. I love this. We have received a box. And inside the box is an absolutely beautiful pouch. Absolutely stunning. I love it. It's from... I was told. I've forgotten. It's on Etsy. Iron something. Armories. Iron Orc. Armories. Something. Yeah, my memory is terrible, so apologies for everyone I forget names and crap like that. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's awesome. So we've done incredibly well. There's obviously still bits. There's a spreadsheet and blah 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 on the Discord. It's all awesome. Will Wares. Hi Will. So next bit. Some bits I've put in above me. Up here, so the top one's followers goal, so that's like to the end of the year sort of thing, and we really sort of like hit a plateau at like 700, and then all of a sudden we've smashed it in like the few days I've had this up, which is absolutely incredible. Next on the list is, so we have pouch for the pouch guard. This is us helping all of the newbies. Well, I say all of the newbies. I've heard back from the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Matt Pennington, and they are expecting 500. 500. Fuck's sake. 500 brand new players at E1, which is insane. Absolutely insane. I don't think they've ever had that many new players at one event. Even with Mr. Humes, I think that was like 300 at the first event. Yeah, the first time all that happened, I believe that was like 300 new players. Then, all of a sudden, it's obviously going to be COVID, everything. So everyone's sort of like built up, and now we're here. 500 brand new players at an event. So that will mean my money is on 3,000 players at an event, and then add crew and stuff like that on top of it. Will, you'll be one of the 500. You, sir? Well, you need to listen to this then. Broken Chords, thank you so much for subbing with Prime. It's absolutely amazing. I think I don't know how many subs we got now. It's over 60. It's 65 or something like that. I forget. But it's quite a lot. So, you three, there we go. 4, 5, so yeah. So, Will, Russ, Gorvas, Choco Mocha Latte. What we're planning on doing is, with these donations, monies that come through, we are going to be going to Anna as well. I'm not going to count because bringing 2 more with you. Oh no, I promise. No, not. Shut up, Jim Bob. I've been lurking and enjoying the content for a while. Glad I could catch it live. That's awesome. Thank you so much. I'm glad that you've been able to do it. I asked loads of questions. There are no silly questions. Just silly people on stream. That's all. So what was I going to say? Yeah, so what we're looking at doing is providing as many new players as we can with a Dark Blade pouch, which also has a potion bottle in it as well. So it's your little fizz rep. So when you're taking potions on the battlefield and stuff like that, it's all good, and you need one basically. So we want to get as many as we can. We're helping out a trader as well who trades every single event at Empire, and we're gonna just do everything we can. So basically, the way that to do it is, because Twitch take a shitload of a cut when they take from bits and stuff. So down the bottom, it's just literally just appeared. Thanks, Moobot there. So there's that, which will directly pay into my PayPal because I'm keeping it all in one place to send off to Tim. So there's that. Or if you want to put something that will appear on stream, the donate button. So if you, underneath the stream, there's an about and then there's donate, you'll get something that will appear, and that will hopefully add to all of that if I've done it correctly. So there's that too. But yeah, you could. There's all of this, and then all of the new players we want to go, have all of this, and just to encourage new players and give them a bit of a start and things like that. Digby, I'm good, my friend. How are you doing? How are you? So yeah, it's all been a bit mental, really, and we've been given permission to do all the filming now for the Extreme Makeover as well, which is awesome. We've got to do it on the Thursday because I think they are swamped, absolutely swamped. Bloody terrified. We're only 6 weeks out. You, my friend, are going to be fine. I know you're going to be fine. You. You're not ready kit wise. Well, I suppose it's not a cowboy one, is it, Digby? Your cowboy kit is insanely good. But you're going to be totally fine. You really are going to be fine. Do not worry. 45 days. God, I don't know what's more terrifying. 45 days or 6 weeks. They're both equally terrifying. 6 weeks. You did spend way too much on the cowboy gear. Yeah, and you're a bad influence on Smith as well because he bought that revolver, didn't he, as well? Sorry, tangents. We go off on lots of these. Shitting it. You'll be fine, Ryan. You'll be totally fine. Also, yeah, Smith should be coming on next week because, as you know, he's been busy. He's on tour this week with Sam and the Dead Nuts, which is the Hat Films band. So they got a live show going on in Bristol, which I believe is sold out. So yeah, they're doing incredibly well. So he's really, really busy. So he should be coming on next week. Excitement always outweighs nerves. Yes, definitely. Oh, it has worked. Oh, that's actually the first time I've seen that GIF on the donation thing. That's incredible. So, roughly with this, what we're waiting for confirmation that we'll be doing is they'll finish a new player meet, and then we can come in with a massive box full of pouches and go to people. Dun 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 dun. Dun, have this stuff, and everybody will be happy, and we know we've done a good thing. Yep, chuck us a DM, mate. In all honesty, with the tent situation, I've taken stuff into account. We'll have space, so really don't worry. You are good. It just needs to. Yeah, we had a massive hall meet, and yeah, but yeah, feel free to pierce a message if you wish. Right, what we talking? Magic. Yeah, Magic and Eternals. So, Chris is former crew. You don't really. Oh no, you do weapons check now, don't you?
I'm not. I've never officially been crew.
You're a
I help
hanger
out
on.
at do. Yeah, I'm the thing they can't get rid of. I do a little. I do weapons checking. I've done it for a couple of systems, which is why they let me help out.
Yeah.
I've also volunteered as a battlefield marshal ref,
Mm.
but that I haven't done that for a while, and I'm definitely not a ref, if you ask. So I'm just a player like anyone else now. So I've never been an official crew. I've always paid for a ticket. So
Yeah. Okay, I've just turned you up a little bit there. Okay. So you've always sort of like hung around the magic in the game, and you've been around that sort of stuff more than I have, and it's not difficult to have done it more than me because I've never done it. So
yeah, I mean I've my first character was a pure fighter who didn't do magic, but my entire group did magic around me, so I learned from there. And then when that character died, I jumped in with a completely full magical character. So, and I've been playing him for some years. I can't think.
mm,
Um, and have gotten quite heavily involved with that. So, yeah, bit
that's
of
cool.
magic here and there.
And thank you, Helen, for donating a tenner, taking us up to 15. We are doing really well, so thank you so much for that. I've always found, I mean, this is my personal preference, when it comes to magic, I hate magic. In anything. Absolutely anything. I don't touch it, I don't use it. Even like playing... what was the game? Divinity, Original Sin 2. None of my characters had magic, and I hate magic. So they're all bows or dual wielding or knights and stuff like that. And that's been the way I've done it. That's always been my game. And then coming to Empire, you see magic, and I'm sat here going, I just like I'm walking around the field. Don't you see the people at the Reggio and all of that, and I've been, yeah, I'll just go over there. I'll go to the pub, and I've left it. How did you find magic? I mean, what made the magic at Empire like appeal to you?
Well, I kind of think since starting LARP, I think I've always been in touch with magic games side of things, usually as a healer.
Mm,
And most LARPs when I started were healing was a magical thing anyway. Um, so I've never been shy of the magic
yeah.
side of LARP. And then first character I decided not to. Then the group was already established. There were people I knew. I originally actually came in as their priest, and the magic side was just when we do a big coven ritual. I am the boost, as it were, to make sure we could hit
Right.
the numbers. Um, Equally, it was hinted at before I turned up that I was also access to the. Oh, you need some spring magic. He'll do that, and pick up the rest of the group when they fall over. Um, so I was kind of more priest, I think,
Right.
at
Okay.
the start, but that's now heavily warped to as my group's gotten smaller through people dying and or retiring.
Mm.
Um, Now it's more like I'm one of the main magic users, so it's sort of been a natural progression. Um,
But at least you're
yeah, I
not
think
controversial. You don't cause any issues, and I mean, you're a straight shooter. You're 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 always lawful good. Not, you're what? You're chaotic neutral, really, aren't you? Something like that. You're
yeah,
chaotic. Yeah. I
I,
mean,
I would say that I think half the field would rather I stayed as a just a priest, and the other half would wish I would just stayed as a full mage. Um, your opinions may differ to which one I can cause more trouble in. I mean, help people
yeah.
with.
How many people in chat are looking at doing magic or becoming an eternal botherer at Empire? I'm quite curious as to this, considering we have quite a lot of new people who watch. So it's I tie myself up a little bit. Okay, how's that? Is that better? Not currently because it seems really intimidating. Oh yeah, of course. Ryan's looking at autumn. He talked about that when he came on. Um, you're are you spring?
Knight.
You're night. Okay.
I was at the start spring, and then I got better.
Hmm.
So there's hope for everyone.
Okay.
Uh,
There's some interesting ones here. So, um, Mark's going full on spring.
Someone has to, I suppose.
So Corvus is was going for full on magic, but now the kids are coming. He's going to go priest. That's fair. I'm staying away from it. I'm not using it personally. So Will's on Team Yeti, which is cool. I'm going to read Broken Chords out in a minute because I like that one. That's going to lead to a nice little a little chat about that. Bethany, not currently because it seems really intimidating. So, Dracoon, Eternal Botherer and Waiting. Oh my god, I can't. Mercy. That's it, isn't it? It's fuck's sake, I'm so crap with names. I'm really sorry. But still, yeah. So another Eternal Botherer there. So we'll touch on Eternals as well. But where's Broken Chords? So I really want to build a Dornish War Witch who does blood magic, but I'm not 100% confident yet. So that's, I like that because you find that when from what I hear about people is Mercy. Yeah, see, I do remember things. Some things, not often. Is that when people do magic, I've only ever see it split into two. So your war witch, war mage, some battle mage, something like that, or you're a battle healer and stuff like that. That seems to be like the really prevalent sort of groups that are out there at the moment, and people seem to take those on board massively. When in reality, I've since discovered this because I had a chat with a friend Simon who's in Urizen, and we sat down in the pub for what I thought was going to be a 5-minute chat. 2 hours. 2 hours later, he finished explaining as much of the magic game as he could to me, and I still didn't get it. But there is it's huge, isn't it?
Yeah.
Within
So
all these
the
scopes.
the magic game is split, I would say, broadly. They all touch upon each other, but you have like, I think, to be really irritating, you probably have about 4 to 5 main categories of
Mm,
that are individually you can just play one of them,
yeah,
and they're not what everyone thinks. So you've got your rituals, and then you've got your eternal bothering, then you've got your spell casting,
yes,
you've got your potion making, and you've got your item making. All of those are considered magical,
right,
which upset, I think, the Alchemist Guild or the Artisans Guild when the civil service said that at Conclave. It was fantastic. Personal opinions may vary. That's broadly it, and you can play in any one of those and never have to touch the others. But if you want to touch onto the others, they're there and they can help.
yeah,
Just because you're a magic user doesn't mean you're a ritualist. Just because you're a ritualist doesn't mean you can sling spells. My character can't sling a spell beyond the basic ones you learn, which
right,
are basically non-fighty ones.
yes,
Basically, operate portal. Um, this is where I fail. Detect magic, and some other ones which I can never remember because I don't use them. Bond item.
Bond item,
Um, that's probably the one I do actually use. No, operate portal is the most common one.
yeah,
But they're the ones that everyone because as a mage, no matter what you are, you learn some basic spells, and they're the Empire judges that everyone would be taught at the academy. And then you got your offensive magic, you got your healing magics. And if you just want to do those and go onto the battlefield or sit in the Anvil Hospital, that's fine. You're just as much as a mage as any other mage.
mm,
When you do your big rituals, then you become a ritualist, I like to say it, which is probably the technical word as well, which is convenient. Then you've got your ritualists, which is your covens, which is casting the big area affecting things
yeah,
or more described. And that can be, you're just going to learn what the imperial law, which we can touch on if someone asks. Or you can make it, or go really far into it and make up your own rituals to an extent.
yeah,
And it's this interplay of what you want to do, and then PD have sort of written the magic system as it's following rules, same as combat, same as you would understand, these are the basic rules, and it can be intimidating. I know you said someone mentioned that, and you kind of think like, oh my, what is all this? And I started off the magic going, I am not doing any of the common math. How
Mm.
much mana do we need for how many ranks of lore? And I was like, I am not a good maths person. I will get this wrong. I will mess up.
Mm.
And I still, to an extent, get other people to do that.
Yeah,
But I think Curtis put a very helpful
he did.
table, which basically nicely summarizes the maths, which PD lays it out one way on their wiki, which I think is a bit more complicated way of explaining it. I prefer a different way, which is basically with masteries, they say, oh, it allows you to double your mana, which I think is confusing. When I say, well, just halve the magnitude of the ritual.
Mm.
Same effect, same way of working it out, just I find one easier and it's up to your flavour.
Yeah.
But tables are quite easy, and it's like the money counting. If you can count the money, you can count the ritual lore stuff. It's not as intimidating. I know you just nick yours, and
Yeah, yeah, basically, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
um,
Theft is a wonderful hobby at Empire for me. I'm gonna catch up with chat a little bit. So
yeah,
pre-existing Spring Vate, so Rhea Pride Stalker.
I will
I
try and remember.
Yeah, Rhea Pride. That name sounds so familiar to me. Does it to you? It must do. It sounds so familiar. It
I
really
know the Pride
does.
Stalker. I know the Pride Stalker
Not been
group.
since 2018, so using your videos as reminders as I've forgotten everything. I am so sorry. Um, not going to be
I
much
think I know
help.
who that is, but I'm not
Yeah.
going to say.
No, no, no. Keep real names, sort of. Yeah. But yeah, they sound very familiar to me. So Penguin Floof, Summer and Night Navari here. Uh, Oi Oi
Night
Savaloy,
good,
Hi Dawn. What was that?
night good. Summer.
I like the idea of going as a Briar who worships an Eternal as a false god, but I also don't want to get executed as a heretic. It takes ages. Heresy takes ages to get executed for. It can and does happen, but it'll take quite a while. You have to go through
It,
loads of stuff. Um, my brother is so thanks for that, Smithy. Brother is planning Navarre Spring Mage with an issue with spring magic use. That's interesting. I look forward to hearing how that one plays out. Potions are not magic. Did you say potions when you were reeling off part of the magic?
I did because pretty sure it was mentioned in Conclave. Much it's a debate
Ooh. Ah, so
thing.
there could be an
Because
Apothecaries Guild conclave standoff here then.
I mean, Conclave can just interdict all the potions. So
Uh,
checkmate. We did.
Brother.
You reloaded them.
Yeah.
Um, there is basically how could we affect? I think the fact is how can Conclave interdict these things when they're not? And you're like, well, they produce a magical effect according to civil service.
Mm.
So it's a lovely argument. It's a beautiful one, and I broadly also say potions are magic because you're taking herbs and stuff, and
Mm.
you're making weird and wonderful effects, and you can get magical potions from various different sort of resources. So, in the fact that it's not a spell slinging, it's allowing you to create game using its effects more than just hitting and words sort of thing.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Smithy's asked, is there a difference between a coven and a cult? I enjoy killing cults. Covens, I haven't killed a
um,
coven yet, you know.
a coven is a group of mages. A cult is a target-rich environment.
Yes. Yes, definitely. Definitely. Yes, I will never forget the love cult. They were awesome. I enjoyed killing them all. There
I
is
missed
still
that.
time, yeah. Yes,
I missed
definitely.
that time.
Did you not
Simpler times,
you weren't
easier
were you there for
times.
that one?
No, I wasn't. I missed that battle, but The
Yeah,
number of things I did as my previous character is like, oh look, these people are defenseless.
yeah,
Loot.
love it, absolutely love it. So, so how long have you been involved in the? Aren't they the ones who also didn't fight back? Yeah. So the story with the love cult. There is some nice, juicy, icy stuff going on around them, which I'm not going to touch on. But the basic was when I was a general, we turned up into their area. There was 30 members of this love cult sat in a circle singing songs to each other. It was great. We all turned up fully armed, and they had no weapons, no armor. They came over, gave us all hugs, and then our priest just went, "They're all heretics." So I thought, excellent. So we executed them all, and then we took a casual stroll back with other stuff going on. But yeah, it was awesome fun. But yeah, they didn't fight back, and they were all killed. And it was the one of the more fun skirmishes, I must admit. So, but there was a lot of stuff going on around that as well. So it wasn't just executions. It was very, very cool. But feel free to ask about that stuff in the field as well, because there were a lot of people still involved in that plot. It's been going on for years, actually, that plot, thinking about it. That was like 8 years ago. That
I
was
can't even think what I was doing 8 years ago.
that was year one, that was. Year one to year two. Jesus Christ. Wow. There we go. Someone needs to finish that plot.
I think back then I was chasing ghosts on a treasure quest. Someone needs to finish that plot as well.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
Um,
Oh, man. So, okay, so a lot of the magic. So, I mean, if I say from my perspective then, and then we'll see if you can help and you can clear bits up, because I think I know what I find difficult to understand, difficult to wrap my head around when it comes to it. So, I think the big one to start off with, dramaturgy. So, when I see people in the Regio doing all of that stuff, that I'm just staring at them thinking, I'll go to the pub. How does dramaturgy fit in with what they're doing? And what do you want to explain what dramaturgy is?
so, dramaturgy is one option you can do to add flavour to your rituals. On an OC level, your ritual is a performance. It's a sort of theatre show within the LARP. You're
Yeah.
putting on a performance. It can be really serious, not serious, involve props and all sorts of things. Dramaturgy most frequently connected, I think, with League and
Yes.
Dawn, I think, is a way of explaining how to do rituals. Like another option for that is blood magic, which is one that I heavily involve
Mm.
in my rituals. And they're not, you don't need them, but they're good ways to incorporate some flavor into your rituals. So, dramaturgy, you're basically performing a play, literally a play, to do the ritual where you'll have different characters, people wearing masks, um, telling a story, which will create a ritual. The style, either dramaturgy, blood magic, whatever, there are a couple others, um, does not mechanically affect the ritual.
Yeah.
It doesn't make it fail if you do a rubbish play. It doesn't, or if no one laughs. There's not a audience participation. You basically, if you hit the mana and you hit the law requirements, your ritual is successful.
Yeah.
Um, Certainly, bigger rituals, more dramatic ones, can get the refs involved,
Mm.
and they will throw out some pyro effects. If you ask them nicely, they might give you
Sprinkles, yeah.
traumatic wound cards.
Mm.
Um, but dramaturgy is just simply a way to flavour
Right.
your rituals on an OC level.
Mm.
Um, that's how I understand it. and how most of the magic styles or rituals work. Blood magic, obviously, being the best one
Yeah.
because it's my one. Um, um,
So, because blood magic is something that seems to have been dulled down a little bit in the rules now, because it was quite prevalent, but now it's been altered
yeah, I
slightly.
think I think the problem, like everything, comes from Empire is not the first to introduce concepts like blood magic and stuff.
Mm.
There's a huge history of it in fantasy literature, films, games, tabletop, all this. And people come in with an idea of what blood magic should be.
Yeah.
And like orcs, PD made them different.
Yes.
So people come in going, oh, I'm going to cut you in blood. And it creates an image of, would a civilized nation really be grabbing someone and hacking them and getting the blood coming out to do a ritual?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that what PD wanted? And I think the members of the game team weren't quite happy with how it was being portrayed in the field. Certainly, blood magic at Empire is about consent. You take blood from someone by force, and it's useless in magic. So when I perform a ritual, I'll cut myself. If I'm casting it on a ritual on someone, I'll ask them to volunteer. But if they don't want to, we cannot do that. Um, it's a lot more civilized in its form. Obviously, they have hinted that the Druid are the ones who do real blood magic with sacrifices and stuff.
Mm.
But in as a Empire citizen, blood magic is about consent, and um, you've got to have the willingness of it. And it's just again, it's a way of flavouring because I think it looks really cool, particularly if you can get some of the prop knives out there that have a little syringe in them, so you can squirt blood out
Yeah,
and
you
leave
get
marks on them.
nice little
And
cut down. Yeah, they look really
yeah,
cool.
yeah, I think it's quite cool. I've certainly had fun where I've opened the Sentinel Gate, and then as soon as all the warriors are through, and I've been there going fight, fight, turn to the hospital and go, ow, I need a bandage,
Mm.
help! I think I've cut a nerve or several.
I had there's a picture of me when someone was using. Funny enough, they were using one of those syringe daggers to do healing, and it was a really unique experience to cut me to heal me, and it was they were taking I think they were taking their lead from things that happened like in the Napoleonic era and during those sorts of things where you used to get where like the officers used to get bled, didn't they, for their like to let the internal gases out, and I was just like, just fucking fart please. um
Ill humors.
Yeah, so they used to do those sorts of things. And as he was doing it, he said, "Are you okay with a little bit of fake blood?" Because he was just going to pretend to cut me and stuff like that. And I was like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." And as he did it, he went, "Oops," like that, and I can feel it all pouring down my face. I was just like, "Oh no!" And he's just like, "Yeah, that's the whole syringe gone." I was covered in it. But it's great. There's a photo of me with what's meant to be just like a little cut or a little bit of blood and stuff like that. Instead, it's like all pooling down on my like one line down my face. It looks really really cool. So Smithy is asked, when it comes to combat mages, is there a unit in battle like a mage vanguard or something like that, or are they more sprinkled in? From my
That's
experience, it's
nation
both.
depending. I think that's nation depending, really. I think Dawn are very good on their unit side. Maybe Highguard has some. I've not taken the battlefield in 2 years
Something
when we
like
were
yeah.
going to events, so I have no idea. I think certainly a group of mages together can be very effective, depending on what spells you've got.
Mm,
Shatter, Repel. I mean, originally my group were going to all take like Ambi or Starves, and we were all going to get Repel, and we were basically going to walk the field like a bunch of Jedi doing force pushes against any of the charging unit because we thought it was hilarious. And then we eachly discovered that if we just put ourselves in chainmail and grab spears and or our preferred weapons, we could just loot and much
Yes.
more effectively. But
Yeah.
that was always a goal to do that because magic spells and stuff were just like, well, we don't have mage armor, phys reps, that we could make some fairly easy. But we have got a lot of chainmail because we were all previously heavy thump characters, which you knew very well.
Smithy got my reference. That is exactly the bit I was thinking of. Bleed me, goddamn you! By Sir Henry Simerson from Sharp.
I knew exactly which one
You got
you
it as
were going
well.
to.
um,
We all love a good Simpsons.
so yeah, I haven't watched Sharp in ages. I'll have to sit down and watch that. Hi Nexus, how you doing? I'm all good. So yeah, the ritual when it comes to it, they go where they want to go essentially. They'll get ordered into places, but they do go where they want to go. Um, I think it depends what they're doing. If they're healers, then you will find a big blob of them at the back somewhere with their bodyguards and stuff. You'll also find that if they're more on the offensive side of it, so the more of the battle mage thing, where they can run in and use shatter and things like that, then they'll be at the front line, or well, at least just behind the front line, so they can poke things through the middle. So there's stuff like that, but it's all dependent on you and your character, what you want to get out of it, and how involved in a battle you want to be. So it's all down to might just make Harper as a character. That would be genius. Harper is a quality character. That would be fantastic. I'd love to see that, to be honest. Yeah, that'd be really cool. Harper was always one of my favorite. Well, Hagman was my favorite, but
Hagman for life.
yeah, I really liked Hagman. I actually bought his album. He released all the songs that he was singing as an album, and I actually went out and bought that.
Best shot in the regiment.
Yeah. How do you? Oh, this is a good question. So from Corvus, how do you flavour your rituals? What other flavours are out there, from the simple to complex?
Dramaturgy, I would personally say, is the most complex. I'm
Mm,
sure other people would say otherwise. There's a list on the wiki of the most common ones, but you can make your own. That's another thing. PD are saying these are just role play hints,
yeah.
advice, suggestions. That's not the ones they show up. I think it's under ritual. It's ritual 30. Um, Wiki diving as we speak because that helps. But personally, we use a bit of blood magic. My group, when we do rituals, are we're all night fates, so we kind of lean into the flavor of that realm. So we are quite spooky. We try to be a bit creepy, to an extent. Obviously, we will modify that depending on who we're casting on. Our
Yeah.
good mate will have no chance as we ambush them from the forest pathway and drag them into the dark. With them quickly going, oh, I'm going to die, until they realise it's us, and then they still won't if they're going to die. Um, we've not killed anyone yet. Um, so we can be a bit creepy. We can do, I think, Rosemary as a lit character um, loves it because my one on solo, I tend to get quite childish because I'm a naga and I'm enjoying the frivolities of just pretending to be a bit childish and seeing how far that gets me. And I
Yeah.
will go on a massive rant about how I'm a night mage doing this night magic on a Mero who's day, and it's horrible, it's perverse, and it's disgusting. And why am I letting this happen? Um, and various effects like that. We'll also flavour it differently for rituals we're casting, so there'll be a party type atmosphere for doing Chamber of Delights, which is a night ritual to basically make a party tent, which helps with mages recover mana.
Mm,
Um, and then if we're doing a Twilight Masquerade, so if we're doing a Drow gear, which is wintry based, we'll go creepy in winter. If we're making a changeling, we will speak about the triumphs of summer. Um, it all depends. I've come from LT as my first LARP, where they have a big ritual circle, and they are sort of set pieces in themselves. So I
Mm.
think I always expect I'm performing to other people, and it's always sort of like I was in some groups that were very good at that sort of ritual stuff, and they always brought in props and were telling a story, and it's probably affected how I do rituals compared to other people.
That's I think that's the big thing though, isn't it? Every single coven, they have their own ways of doing it. So I've seen the
Yeah,
League and the Brass Coast put on essentially a small performance, so sing songs, a little play and stuff like that. And then I've seen Varushka tell just someone's there telling a story and something which relates to what they're doing. Um, and that so it's all really you put as much into it as you want to. You can just stand there for like the 10 minutes that you need to be there, saying chanting the same thing over and over again if you wish. I've seen that happen. I've been involved in a ritual where that was happened, and it was quite boring for me because I wasn't doing anything. I was just stood there. So it was things like it's stuff like that. Harris all the way. Yeah, you can't go wrong with Harris. So there's a few couple here. So what is something that a non-magical character can do to get involved, or to watch some interesting magic? We'll come down to that one last because I think that's going to lead on to that will lead up quite nicely into Eternals, as well with something I'll bring up. Find a ritual that benefits your character and ask for it to be done. Yep, that's a good way. It sounds like these require quite a bit of planning. Are rituals organised events in advance?
depends.
Mm.
So a ritual can be cast by just one person, either on themselves or on someone else. In which case, the planning is you get yourself there and you find the target. I rarely plan out my rituals. We in my coven, we might go right. You grab some drums and we'll put a beat to it, or I'll speak, then you speak, and we'll just bounce off each other. But we're quite a small group,
Mm.
so that works quite well for us. Equally, a Navarre coven I know have sort of set pieces they say, where they have a set order in which they speak, and having done a number of rituals a lot, they'll have worked out like even drawings on the floor and stuff. It depends how big the ritual is, and also where you do it. A ritual can be cast anywhere. It doesn't require a single place to cast it. You have the Regio or Regio, however you want to say it. That's a boost. That is a place of magic conjunction. It allows you access to Hall of Worlds or other portals, but you don't need it. And there's a ref there, which is always handy because they expect big rituals will need it because it allows you to hit a higher level of magical power. But I can cast, if we're in the field now, I could cast a ritual now. I would
Yes.
then have to go find a ref or go to God to process that ritual before any results would mechanically come effect. But the role play element itself can happen anywhere.
Mm.
Again, it just as long as you hit the magnitude and you have the mana to hit that magnitude, then you can cast a ritual anywhere. Some rituals are designed for it, particularly when you got masteries of rituals, which is how most rituals are done. You don't need mastery, but it helps. Um, to the very big ones where you will need a group of people, and like anything, the more people involved, the more cat herding it is, the more faff it will be, and the
Yeah.
longer it will be. I mean, I've done I think two good examples of this. I've got One from when I was my first character, who was a general at the time, and therefore needed an army buff done on him. There was a coven in Urizen, and I got there dead on the time, being prompt and all that lot because I wanted to go to a skirmish, and I ended up missing that skirmish because
Yes.
people just were
Yeah.
not turning up, and you had the Urzen Egregore going, well, this is a bit embarrassing. Sorry, Freeborn. You've been standing here for how long? Oh, about 20 minutes. Has anyone given you a drink? No. Um,
Mm.
and then getting another one in Navarre where I went, well, this is for a big set piece where we've got the Thule ambassador here. He's gonna watch the ritual. It's going to be in the Thule land we're targeting. Um, we've got one big group in Navarre who can do this, but they need to cast a ritual somewhere else and a skirmish. So if they don't turn up in time, I thought, well, we got these lovely items in Navarre and stuff to do this ritual. I'm going to get everyone who doesn't cast it to cast it. And then the group who could cast it on their own came back, and I went, no, you're not doing this on your own. We're all doing it because I sat here for like 30 minutes with various people coming and going, and we're going to do this. And that is probably why I don't do large rituals anymore. I much prefer just doing it with my own group, though I am going to
Yeah.
break that soon and do a large ritual or organize one anyway.
Yeah.
Um,
But this is the old adage, isn't it? LARPers, it's like herding cats. So,
Same for skirmishing, same for magic,
same for everything. To be honest.
except for going to the bar.
Except for
That
going to
seems to
the
get more
pub,
people.
yeah, yeah. Except for going to the pub, everyone's on time for that. Most people are like 3 hours early for that one. Right. Have a good evening, Corvus, and yeah, it'll all be up on YouTube on Sunday, I believe. Um, so yeah, basically, then, so with all of these rituals and stuff like that, if you want it to be, if it's something like really big and powerful that's going to affect everything, it's worth going to do it at the Reggio, put on a big show, just to go look at all this and make it as fancy pants as you want. If it's something really simple, like I'm going to do a little ritual on you that's going to give you an extra hero point. Yeah, just do it outside a tent, call a ref, and then do it. And it
Yeah,
doesn't have to be that special. It can just be a little thing of cut your wrist, cut your hand, something like that. Don't cut your wrist. Just cut. Yeah, sorry. Cut your hand. Do something like that. Do whatever you need to do. Drink this, and all of this, and then just go on and then go from there. So it's you do what you need to do, and you be as fancy pants as you want to be. Just to add as well, this total is actually at 35 quid so far, because some people have paid directly into the PayPal. So you're not. It looks like if you pay via the donation thing, yes, you'll get up there, but PayPal will take a cut of about 20p. So, is there a minimum you need to know about magic as a regular Joe?
it exists and it's legal.
Perfect. Is that it? Wonderful. So,
Um,
go on.
I'm gonna that was really easy one. Additionally, be honest, the most magic you need to know about beyond it exists is hearth magic, which is individual nation dependent,
Yeah.
and that's going to affect stuff within your own nation. But realistically, you'll think there's a lovely book by a game member and his son and a few other people who take you through as a academy kid,
Mm.
learning various options from the academy. And
Yes.
you'll have learned it in academy that it exists and some basics of it. But realistically, I'm going to ask you, Steve, how much has knowing magic affected your game or not knowing magic affected your game?
In an in-character way, for me, when I started off as Mac, I wanted to be a bit of a not so much a dunce or something like that. You know, I wanted not to know a huge amount about the world. I wanted to learn a lot of stuff, so I wanted to really take. Because I went from being a general, being heavily involved in everything, and having all of the plot that came into the Navarre essentially sort of like on my doorstep, and it was so stressful and it was so much hard work. So I mean, that game I would have hated the game if it wasn't for people like like Rick, so like Chris's brother, Kit, and I've forgotten his name. Oh my god, I can picture him. He's general at the moment.
Uh, Brenos
Yeah,
or
Brenos. Yeah, yeah. So if they weren't around me as my like support thing in character, I would have had everything on my plate and been on my own doing it, and it was really, really bad. So when I started off as Mac, I wanted to take that step back, not know a great deal. So learning more about things in game. So, example, having that chat in character about magic with someone who explained everything to me made me look at people who do magic in a different way. Because I was beforehand, I was just like, yeah, if someone pissed me off, I'll just kill them. Now it's a case of, yeah, if they piss me off, I'll kill them. Oh, can they do magic actually? They might be able to stop me. Because if they don't have magic, then chances of them being able to stop me, quite slim. Because, I mean, a very, very old character, and I've got a lot of stuff. A magic user can just... A perfect example is when I fought a duel against Grim. But he was dumb. Because he cast Paralyze on me. So I'm stood there for 10 seconds, unable to move. And he laughed in my face for 10 seconds. And then I put him onto his bleed count. Whereas if he had hit me a load of times, I'm out. I'm down. I could be killed. Quite easily. In fact, that's 10 seconds, that's 10 hits. And if I'm not wearing my armour, if someone's not wearing armour, more often than not, 99% of the time, that person is down. And when you get things like that explained to you in character, you're going, magic's quite powerful in this system if you can use it properly.
oh yeah, there was
So,
a tournament I think player event I used to regularly attend, and I
mm,
think last 2 years of it there were like a surprising number of or mages in the finals. Just because they'll be like, "Oh, right, cool," and like we were like going to like 3 hits or whatever. But when you're in the finals, like the magics came out, and it was just like, duh, 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 cool.
yeah, it's so magic is really powerful. It's well, if you're going to do it, then it is well worth having. I think for people who are interested in it. How many hits do you get with no skills or armor? 2. So your basic hits are 2. Then you can buy endurance on top of it, which will boost you by 1. So for me, in my pants, I'm on 5 hits. So that's it's really obvious the direction I went in for this character. Yeah, really, really small penis territory. It's so it's been really, I've really just gone, this is my focus, this is what I want to do. And the longer I've been playing Mac, the more I've got involved in stuff. I'm now sat here going, I wish I'd done other things. I'd done more. I'd spent my points elsewhere. So I bought Magician, but then I realised I'm not getting the starting XP. I'm not getting that boost. So it was pointless. Absolutely pointless me buying into it after 7 years, because I'd have to play for another 7 years to actually get up to be able to do anything worthwhile with Magic for what I was wanting to actually do. So I got rid of that, and I've just gone, nope, I'll stick with this, and I might buy maybe Artisan or something. But that'll be about it, really. And then, because I'm at a point now where I'm just probably not going to spend any more XP on this character. I'll just save it all instead. So, it sounds like someone could put you down with a sneeze without armor. If they could paralyze. If they paralyze me, yeah. Entangle, I can still fight back. Anyone can still fight back. So there's lots of ways and means about doing these sorts of things. So, but yeah, magic is all about how you use it, how much imagination you've got when it comes to potentially coming up with new rituals and things like that as well. So there was a question asked earlier about how to get involved in stuff, and for me that leads on quite nicely into the Eternals bit, because I wanted to get involved with a little bit of magic. I wasn't a fan, but I want to get involved in a little bit of the magic side of the game, because, well, more of the eternal bothering side of the game. And I know that because I can't bother the Eternals myself, I can get other people to do it for me. So then the Eternal will send someone to come and bother me. So what we've done is, so Mac and Grim, we have done something. There's a ritual because called Challenge the Iron Duke. So the Iron Duke is someone who loves to challenge people, who wants to push people to be the best of the best and do what you can do and show me how amazing you are, that sort of thing. And I'll get you to do this, and then I'll reward you for being amazing, or you'll be dead. That's the sort of thing, basically. Any kit you need to bring with you as a ritualist that a non-magic player doesn't need to bring. No. There we go. So what we had to do was find a coven who could do the ritual, and then come up with a reason why the Iron Duke would want to lay out a challenge for us. So everybody, I'd say 95% of the challenges are, I'm the greatest warrior the Empire has ever seen. Let me have a fight with someone, please. Not great, bit boring, always the same thing. Me and Chris wanted to give the plot writing team something fun, something interesting to come up with for us. So we did the ritual as we were the greatest family men the Empire has ever seen, and we are also the greatest lovers the Empire has ever seen. That could be taken a number of ways. Are Mac and Grim the greatest lovers? Or are they the greatest lovers of other people? Who knows? That's completely up to them. It can be taken in any way that you want to take it. So we came up with that, and you could see the refs who are listening to this stuff being read out. You could see them all, like them just being standing there listening and watching. Then the grins started. You could hear people in the tent laughing as they were listening to it being read out. And then the herald came and found us to basically go, you've done this challenge, and then they have a little OC chat with you. And he was just saying, I've never seen anything like this. And I says, I think the plot team are going to have an absolute field day with you. And that was it. Then COVID happened, so we don't know. We find that one out at E1. So it's going to be really good. But that is the sort of stuff that you can do as well to get involved. And the thing I like about the Eternals, I've never, I've killed heralds, but I've never really had a meeting with an Eternal where they have come to me just to say, you do this, or I'll do this, or this. Something like that. So I'm hoping that the Iron Duke comes back with something really interesting for us. That's just going to be fun and involved, or something like that. I've heard a few rumours about what it might be, but I don't want to talk about that because I really hope it is, because if it is what I think it is, then it's going to be painful, but in a good way. So when it comes to Eternals, Chris, how would you advise people to get involved and become an Eternal botherer?
So, one of the easiest ways is the Archmages. There's one for each realm. There's 6 realms, 4 seasons, and night and day. And they each have someone who is effectively an ambassador of the Empire to the Eternals of that realm. Their job is to be the go-between, to talk and stuff, and they will genuinely know what's going on with each Eternal. They're a good one person to talk to. Then another one, depending on your realm, there's rituals. So the Night Realm has a direct line to one of the Eternals called Sodogwa. And this is called the ritual called Missive to Sodogwa, which is a low-level ritual, and it gives you like a set number of words in a particularly way folded piece of paper, I've forgotten how many it is. And then they've added some materials that you have to set the cast with it as well, just to reduce the amount. And depending, you can send like whatever you want
Mm.
on that. You can say hi. I mean, I did that once and I got a ritual back, mainly because we'd already established a bond, so it wasn't like that was my opening gambit of hi. But that's another one. You got those for day where you can ask questions of Eternals. I think there's a couple of others. Um, then there's heralds walking around. They might come up to you for various different reasons. There's the plenipotentiaries, which is sort of like an ambassadors meeting for the different realms. Each event, the archmages can send a personal letter to a Eternal inviting them to parley. That has certain rules and stuff. It doesn't have to be accepted. And it's basically the cool toy of the archmages for people who get that position, which is otherwise a political position, um, where basically they can write a custom letter to get plot, basically, and the answers will depend on the plot team, but that's another way of doing it. And usually, like I think, take for current example, um, I think Adamant from the realm has said, I'm not doing a parlay, I'm going to do a lot of other things. So has
Yeah.
invited a lot of other people around, just turn up to the tent at this time and meet blah. Um, the previous one I went on to, despite not really being a spring mage anymore, I got into the spring realm. I met our Halogen, which was brilliant. First thing he did was make us drink a load of venom because obviously, and then said, if you mention the word benefit of the Empire, I will kill you. That obviously why we were there was to talk about the benefit of the Empire, which was a very interesting conversation to work our way around. Then there's yeah, they'll send out messages. Those are like easy ways to do it. Then sometimes you'll find items that are called boons, and they usually act like a message. Sometimes they act like a message to the Eternals. I mean, we were depending on who you talk to, we were either really cruel or very supportive. Where we knew a new player was struggling to get into the game, so as a general rule, you can't deal with all the Eternals in your own realm. Pick one or two that's going to give you the most fun. They each flavored differently, and go hard on them because you'll get more out of it rather than just cherry picking, in my opinion. So we went, well, we've got a boon to this Eternal, which we're never going to talk to. It's about songs and stories, and we're more about secrets and solving things. So we just literally walked up to them, handed them what was this feather, and said, there you go, you're in charge of Sung now, bye, and walked off. And they stood in the middle of the Navarre camp going, what? What? Come back! Come back! And we just scarpered. So things like that, all are different ways to get involved. Hall of Worlds, good place to hang around. You'll see things coming out because that's mostly where the heralds will pop out through. As long as you're a mage or you have a magic item called the purpose key or something like that. I'm going to say it wrong because I can't get the joke out of my
You've
head.
got that key, haven't you? That can do.
Yeah, which is for anyone who doesn't know, it's a magic item which if you it grants you access to the open portal spell, even if you're not a mage.
Yeah.
Specifically, it's used for non-mages to get into the Hall of Worlds, which, given the rules of Conclave, is that generally all mages only the mages can vote in Conclave. But usually, if you turn up, you're assumed to be able to be a mage and can get in. So technically, you could, in theory, try and scam the system. But I found out you would be breaking the law.
Yeah.
I am not suggesting any of that, but it's just an amusing thing. There's
Just
a
a
lovely
quick
bit.
update. This is now at 65. So yeah, that's insane. So thank you everybody.
Yeah, it's there's those are some of the quick ways to do it. I personally like the ritual ones because it doesn't require talking to anyone else. It just requires thinking of your message, and writing them, which I think Missive to Sodogwa is a magnitude 2, which is the lowest ritual you can do, which
Mm.
basically, if you master it and you're a level 1 mage, you can cast it. Level 1 ritualist, sorry. You can cast it, so it's very open. And you can easily get to the required score by jumping in the regio, it just
Yeah.
costs you a bit more mana.
Yeah.
Rituals like that are really, really cool, really handy. But yeah, they're not hard. It's just, and also just talk to the mages already in your nation, and you usually find some of them are like, yeah, we can't be asked talking to these people and stuff like that. And there's a load of other imperial hats and stuff like that who have different dealings with them and stuff. And they can be completely not in conclave. I think there's probably one in the military council. There
Mm.
is definitely one in the military council. Um, there's, I think, at least one in the bourse. Um, so there's a lot of opportunities to feed in, and there's opportunities on the Winds of Fortune, which will give you more specific information.
Yeah. There's a
Um,
question here which is specific to you because I won't have a clue. Um, are there any spells to help you find things?
as in hidden items.
I don't know. I mean, the flickering torch has asked this
Um,
question, so I
so
mean, like I suppose artifacts, something like that, magical items.
so um, detect magic. That's usually a good one. It's more focused rather than sort of like pointing at something and do I detect magic on that? That's a spell, and you'll get
Okay.
information back from that. Like, is this item worth scrying? Can you incite it? Is it magical or is it just a brick you found on the floor? Um, it can give you that's an easy way to determine that. Then you've got some rituals, which is give me a secret in this area. More useful at player events and on skirmishes than in the big anvil field. A lot of the rituals which require getting, well, I can grab information from the immediate area and anvil,
Hmm.
probably to save PD a massive headache of finding things out, just give you a very generic response. And they are written into the text of those rituals. So you're not going to be upset when you cast that and get a all the world's secrets come together. Um, there's the rituals like that that'll help in areas. My favorite one for finding out random bits of plot and stuff is you've got two versions of this. One's a ritual called Science Importance, and the other one, I'm going to deviate to Steve here, is a potion or a drug that you take, and it gives you the same effect. It comes from the same pool of visions.
Or Goose
Um,
Whisper.
Goose Whisper, that's it.
I
Um,
love Goose
those
Whisper.
rituals both come, the ritual and the potion, each draw from the same pool of visions. So if you have Goose Whisper, and then you go, oh, I want another vision, and you cast Signs and Portents, you'll get the same vision again.
Yeah.
You only allow one event.
Oh, I like that. I love Goose Whisper.
It's a way. That's a good way to get the thing. There is actually an imperial title whose job it is to collect everyone's that they find and write them in a book and try and work out what they mean because they will have a thing about plot. Could be past plot, could be future plot, could be present plot. That's the headache of the hat wearer. I think he's the imperial
Yes.
seer,
The Imperial Seer.
who
Yeah.
is in Wintermar.
Not too
I
sure what they
think.
are. I think they're up for grabs this that E1, aren't they?
It's really cool. You'll get a lot of people coming towards you. It sounds like far too much hassle to me, but that's my personal opinion. If you want to jump in, that's something.
Mm.
Conclave positions that allow you to interact with the Eternals is all of them, pretty
Mm.
much. Uh, and they're quite an easy one to get. Basically, say you want to go for that position on the agenda sheet, pay a mana cost or whatever it is, talk to the civil service, they'll let you know. And well done, we have to vote on it. We have to listen to you speak for a minute and say why you should have this position. Listen to the defendant who has to pay mana to defend his position, or her position, or their position, and then we have to vote on saying who should have that position. And you could do that conclave meeting after conclave meeting. So we have 2 conclave meetings every event on the Friday and on the Saturday. So if you didn't get it on the Friday and it's your first event, you could put in the same thing again for the Saturday and we would be listening to you. And you could do that every event if that's your jam. You might get cursed if no one's voting for you and you keep putting yourself up.
You essentially, these people could browbeat you into submission just to give them that role.
They could, equally, like everything, they would probably get cursed, and we might bring in our Max and have a word with them. Um, it's very democratic. It's basically simple majority
Yeah.
for any voting in conclave, and everyone there basically gets a vote if you're an imperial citizen. Um, and you're there basically. So it's a really cool system. It does mean they go on forever. Conclave is a particular kind of fun depending on where you sit on that. I thoroughly enjoy it. I know some people look at me aghast for that, but my area is not the voting side of Conclave. It's more the side politics that go around it and the sass and the wine drinking and taking the mick and making little
Yeah.
deals around the corner between it all is my fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are basically how you become an eternal bother. You've already the big
Like
one.
I need to go and find someone who's going to allow me to go and bother Cathan Kane because I want a fortress. Not to use for the good of the Empire. I want a fortress to put on my home, so it's my home for a while. Literally it. It's great. So
yeah, I mean, I think with Kathy Kane, it's more like if she lets you bother her rather than the other way around. But
well, yeah,
yeah,
you have to earn that. She puts you through quite a lot. The good way and bad, I guess. Carl subscribed for 16 months, going, this goblin magic man. I've received a very nice in-character letter about Silas. I have. I'm loving this. It's so funny. It's so funny. I can't. Yeah. He's gonna hate me so much. And Ryan's asked, are you going to struggle without a mana site personal resource as a ritualist?
the rituals you want to cast, even if you have a mana site, you're probably going to have to do some trading to get the big ones or build it up over some time.
Yeah.
I don't. I'm actually a priest, so I have a congregation. We have 1 mana site in my group. We have other ways of getting mana, basically through trading, and we had another way of doing it as well. When we were taking the battlefield. Again, it depends. If you're only casting mag 1 or 2 rituals, then getting a mana or 2 an event is not going to be difficult. If you're casting magnitude 180 rituals, you're going to have to put some legwork into it, but you're going to have to do that anyway. So it's like, are you disadvantaged being a healer if you don't have a herb garden? Same thing applies.
Yeah. So is it reasonable to ask someone to provide the mana for a ritual you're casting for them? Yes, that's fine.
Yes. And get them to pay for your time because that's prosperity.
Yeah. Yeah, get him to chuck you some cash too. Me and Brat have met. We also agreed on things. Madness. Oh, Brat has met Silas.
Oh, yes, we did.
Yeah.
Silas is a very reasonable person
Yeah.
with many good ideas.
I have lots. I've received a fairly interesting letter from a member of my family with regards to Silas. So I think there's some interesting stuff that's coming up. It just depends how busy Mac gets. Really, I've got so much to do. So much to do.
I was going to be busy, and then I think I've made some OC choices to reduce how much I do in an event, and I probably already filled in what gap I'd just cleared.
Yeah, I'm in a similar sort of vein. I've decided what I want to do, what I don't really want to do, and what I don't need to do, and I've accepted that I'll probably only do 5% of any of it, because the rest of it I'll be, well, sat by a fire chilling and eating midnight sausages. It's just a thing. So
I'll be mostly walking the field as I usually do between bars and trying to find that one person who's always elusive.
yes,
Um,
yeah.
Apparently, it makes me the most difficult person and spookiest night mage because I can never be found. It's because I'm always looking for someone else, so I don't stop moving.
Well, thankfully for me, it's all personal plot stuff. So I'm quite lucky, really. I think I'm going to call it there. It's 25 past. Going for an hour and 25. So, and it's starting to catch up on me a bit. I've got a lot more energy than I used to, but obviously I'm still I get quite tired quite quickly at the moment. Jazz, 10 months. 10 months, and we keep going with the insane amount of subscribers. It's amazing. This is awesome. So yeah, I'll be back on Friday to do something. I don't know what. Something's probably arranged, but I can't remember. And then hopefully I might not be doing Monday next week. I'll be moving it, to Tuesday, because if Smith is free, he'll be coming along on Tuesday, and we'll do that, and we'll have a nice little chat and all of this sort of stuff. Thank you for the bits there, Beth. Yeah, so thank you everybody who's donated to these. So obviously this is, I'll just have a quick check again. No. So we're at what, 65 quid, which is incredible. So I mean, 100 quid is 50 pouches, maybe more. It's up to Tim, really. So, but it's all going to new players, and so if you're at one of the new player meetings, it's whichever one I'm allowed to go to. It seems like we'll turn up with a big box full of these, and we'll be giving them out on a first come first served, and then people can have them as a welcome to Empire, you beautiful bastards, as I like to say. So, I don't know if anyone I follow is streaming. There are a few. So we're gonna go and raid Digby. He was in stream for a while, and then obviously his stream started, so he's shot off. So
The cowboy.
yeah, so he's playing a little bit of armor. Just go say hi. He's been insanely busy at the moment, so he's he could do with a bit of positivity, I feel. So obviously there's no pressure to go and do it. Just go, and it's nice just to go for. How long are we collecting for? I think it's the week before E1. So I think that's the 19th, 20th. I can't remember. I'd set a day.
6 weeks time.
Yeah, so it's 6 weeks, yeah. 40 days probably. So, but still. Yeah, go say hi to Digby. Give him some positivity. And everyone look after yourselves. Stay safe. And if you're struggling, don't forget to reach out. Okay? We're all here for each other. Love you all. Thank you for coming on, Chris.
No worries. It's a pleasure as always.
Little Goblin, you're awesome. Take care, everyone. Bye. Is that cool?